I won't let it catch me. Even with such an IQ as mine is possible. I calculated something. Missed I was close to show. Influence on the whole. The country and now, what can I do with the sun? We are this. Sidewalk intelligence is an ability to realize the reality to adapt to. The most important quality will affect it. Any person is precisely developed. Intellects are so distinguished, distinguishing us from our neighbors. Surface of the planet. Land I am the head of the largest cartel in. How will the Russian professor stay? Anonymous is not considered to be managed. My life and be like that in the end. I try to be a smart person but so that our lecture was pleasant. Format we will do it by viewing 1. Areas of darkness. Analysis of behavior. The film is very appropriate for us. Music. Topic. See how Eddie lives. He sits at home and eats harmful and empty food. He watches TV and gets drunk. With alcohol in a bar, this is the wrong image. Life makes him look like a drug addict or a homeless person. Most importantly, no. Distract. Being locked up in the Czech Republic. Walls will find inspiration to finally start writing your book home. He is in the same condition as his ego. Life is full of devastation and chaos. Aren't you worse already? What will happen to him after use? Magical. Pills. You started behaving like a man. To finally answer the annoying wife. The owner of the house for evictions at his address. Very much. I was surprised at the World Cup that, unfortunately, the residents. Modern megacities are losing. Courage is not possible. Stand up for themselves in any. He was able to find a conflict in himself now. Strength not a constructive defense to take out in. Meaningfully flat as it should be. Adults don't like you. You consider me a complete loser. Who does not pay for housing after C. During the conversation, he found out the reasons. A negative attitude towards oneself as well. Causes of her general suppressed. Emotional background and in the end, Eddie helped her being professional. He did not make any as a writer. Truda to write for a girl is necessary. Synopsis for the university. Being in the right place at the right time. And making the right concessions he see. As a result, he wins the girl repeat. Attention that this is exactly the model. Relationships with women are laid in us by nature itself and for health. The mental state is as strong as it is. And the weaker sex is precisely such a model. Follows. Adhere to the man must take responsibility not only for oneself but also for the woman and solve her problems. Alas, the fashion is for the strong and independent. Women make unhappy and those. What drives successful people? Others are successful people driven by their goals. There is always an unconquered woman in front of me. Top I plan my day in detail. If you also want to succeed, think ahead, set yourself goals. Day, week, month, hour and so on. Life. Within the framework of his life. No purpose without a plan. A boat without oars. Develop an algorithm. Which will help you achieve. Take it upon yourself. Responsibility for one's actions and you must do nothing to begin with. Think about what habits you have. Surround yourself and remember your life. Useful habits are the foundation of wealth named after. Succeed. The last bad habits. Prevail. Think what is bothering you. After all, awareness is the first step to love and motivation. A pleasant time for a change. With a girl gave the necessary motivation. To our hero, yes, unfortunately, but maybe. Fortunately, the animals are our motivation. Our intimate life is very strongly affected. And the qualities of our interrelated villages. The opposite sex of the problem in this case. Sphere unfortunately, they will pull everything with them. The rest is up to your significant other. Kindle a fire in the heart of your gender. Muse and create a desire within you. They will conquer new peaks if this is not the case. Relations will only hinder movement. Forward, however, Do not be afraid to marry. I. Starts children teach us. Responsibility and the ability to get along with them. Politicians are children. The most important thing is that you are more likely within his life. After all, this is a guarantee of that you will leave at least something behind. Ask yourself a question: what you know about great-grandmother's house is unlikely to have been preserved. You hardly know what trail she is left in history and what a way of life led, but you know the fact that for sure she was there. Think about it. You. Order in the house. Order in the head. Where is our hero after returning home from? With the necessary charge of motivation. Finally, in his apartment. Order. First thought: burn everything. But common sense. Order prevailed. Remember, my friends. Order in the house and a splash in the head. Motivation as a result of winning wives. Order in. Inspiration is very important to our hero. The moment went further that this is a pill. I was extremely collected. I didn't smoke for 6 years. I didn't eat. I was clean. I didn't drink alcohol. Has not smoked or eaten for 6 hours on. Removed everything from his life unconditionally. And introduced bad habits into his life. Interval. Trust me, these little things are great. Strongly influence the quality of thinking and motivation. Be clean like our hero, and the peace around you will begin to change. Purity was now not only around ours. She was a hero right now, and you are inside of him. That we will learn to support. Exceptional order in his house and on. This will allow you finally find internal order after Edward changed his appearance and started practicing sports, brought his hair in order, enriched his life with useful habits. Hobby. While running, our hero taught foreign languages, mastered the game on the piano. Our hero changed his place. Leisure. Now he did not rest in cheap ones. There are absolutely no basement bars and taverns. Now he spends his time on expensive ones. Where do they live? At parties and fashionable clubs. People of a higher social level of the status pay attention to that. Treason. The audience is not learning new languages. Dodiajayish Day. Mark Zuckerberg being spent a lot of time as a teenager on study ancient Greek. You probably know that classical languages used to be taught in all gymnasiums, and now at the department History and Theory of World Cultures of Moscow State University. The study of ancient Greek, Latin, and any ancient exotic to choose from. For example, Drevn Kopko is included in the number obligatory subjects, and for a reason. Learning a language is one of the best exercises for the development of the brain, the ego's ability to training and perception of the new, namely, learning languages allows us to further master any new system, new technology, programming language, new knowledge about the world, and the ability to mastering several systems at the same time leads us to new product discoveries, business technologies, and most often this occurs when one area of knowledge we apply ideas from another system or oblast. Do sports every day by anyone, whether it's a running gym or classes on horizontal bar during physical activity, is happening. Increased blood flow has a positive effect on the brain. Thanks to this, oxygen is transported in a sufficient amount of brain cells are activated to fulfill relatives functions. Is a consequence of this greater concentration of birth consciousness. New cells that improve memory and the ability to learn is also helps to reduce fatigue and weakness, which causes fatigue. Monotonous. Our work, our life is diverse. Memory of all higher mental functions. Mental perception, speech plus everything has a positive effect on the development of small and general motor skills and expands imagination. If you have chosen a sports hobby, the state of health is significant, improves in general, but I mention the hobby not only because of self-development. Consider that your favorite activity can give you a present new acquaintances with interesting people and like-minded people who are possible in will be able to become your partners in the future. For business and even a hobby in itself may become successful in the end, and the next scene is very profitable business. Eda's 4 laws of logic are important. How the environment affects the personality. Tells his entourage about 4. Law of logic. Remember the textbook of logic, which I use regularly. I am advertising for a person familiar with logic. So superior. How much of an average person surpasses. A monkey is average. Eda's arithmetical ego environment understood this and therefore surrounded himself only successful people, superior to the ego in social terms, the latter being charming by nature and very well read in terms of activity. He was perceived as a new person. He is not surrounded by the bright soul of the company. He was not shy, proud of the information he shared. Our hero made an impression. He turns out to be an incredible erudite. The problem was not that Eda changed his environment and remaining himself he with surprise for. I found out that it is interesting. The interlocutor is the writer's experience. Reading helped him open up in the new environment is so interesting. As a person that new friends suggested. I got a job and was called on a private jet. You have to accustom yourself to the resort as a whole. Communicate in a circle of wealthy people or in those places where there are wealthy people. Do not invite them to behave with dignity. To be independent but not cattle. People are manners of behavior and etiquette is not. It should be considered as something imposed. The golden billion of ideology is not there at all. In this way you will develop yourself. The discipline of manners of competent speech is not. I am sure that serious people will want to have it. Affairs with those who have a business conversation. Begins with the phrase, the topic was normal there. On the horizon, it should be coughed up. No. Be afraid to discover something new for yourself. After all, it is better to see once than to hear 1,000 different retellings from others. Opinion and attitude accumulated by you to the subject form your mentality. An important point you should learn not to simply extract new information by separating. You need to learn the grain from the chaff and competently shares his experience with. Develop your orator by others. If you don't learn to catch the wave, the interlocutor will not perfect his speech. No matter how successful it is in the future, no one will simply become your idea. You listen how many were similar in history. Truly colossal cases. Projects died in the bud just later. That their creators could not do it right. Convey the idea to audience, repeat them. We dare. 3847/5000. The ability to go beyond the limits of behavior. Risks in business. Ordinary people go out as it is customary. Speaks in business from Eda's comfort zone. At that moment, no learn to take risks. On a conscious risk. Then I started to form. Suddenly I knew exactly what was needed to do, and suddenly I began to form the idea of what to do, and it was something bigger, believe me, everything. Great people passed through their lives. This very moment, at this very moment, our hero found divine revelation. A great plan, and he knew exactly what it was. Intention. Eda the millionaire will do it. See how he lives at the workplace. Financial traps. Full order just like in the same apartment, no apartment new on. Acquires. Purchase of expensive but unnecessary things, etc. One trap of our time that restricts opportunities even very much. Wealthy people breaking out of slavery, poverty, work from salary to salaries. Most people become. Their lives begin as slaves to expensive purchases, revolving around expensive real estate, cars. But the Supreme Council only slows down the same progress. Our hero also realized the simple truth. Shares do not depend on how it works. Company how stock psychology works. does not depend on the efficiency of the company. That's what people think about the company when. Once he realized this, he voiced this idea. Literally, I don't have one. Many places. Reply and I have a competent PIA and fall in. The heart of the mass audience made the ego on. For some time the richest man. On the ground despite the fact that his company, marketing, were not the most economically successful. Among its competitors, this scene is like, can't help but convey the power of marketing. Pay attention to how much effort. I myself devote myself to quality promotion. Themselves and their ideas. The shark of business and Wall Street was ego. A ticket to the top league exclusively. Intelligence and determination helped him get these connections and favors. Tall people added similar people to. Our hero finally got his environment. Access to unlimited opportunities for further career growth on this. At any stage, any project is successful. The idea will be fulfilled because now he has it. There is power connection and breathing practices. Money and in the end I would like. Draw your attention to respiratory. Practice how will sex help me? Successful you ask you tell. Ever paid attention to athletes training in oxygen masks and you know why they are this? Make the body feel a surplus. Oxygen and organs you started working. The brain switched to enhanced mode. Later in the competition, the athlete performs the same exercises, but without a mask and without any doping and only at the expense. Breathing training becomes a champion. Is the most reproducible robot. Operating on hydrogen energy with efficiency. Close to 100% everything we eat with food. Ultimately at the cellular level. Breaks down into hydrogen which we darken. 8 oxygen of the air precisely by that. The air we breathe out. We receive energy that we will then spend on all our processes. All our life is an explosion of hydrogen is slowed down by a complex cascade. Biochemical reactions are from the first looked imperceptibly but human life. As if a match had been lit in infinity, every breath of ours is like blowing air into the horn with bellows. The process occurs automatically without of our understanding, but who said that it is? The process cannot be controlled for achieving positive effects even more as possible. There are special respiratory practices that can saturate your blood with oxygen and significantly increase your energy status. Tolerates cold temperatures. Conclusion. Resist stress to withstand increased physical and mental load. The moral of the film that we are with you. They just looked at it, but it's very simple. No magic pill is evident. It does not exist and is not needed. The whole secret. This is the right image. Following all these tips, I became a professor.